1966. That is the year Monsanto's own engineers put it in writing. The soil in Anniston, Alabama was contaminated, the water, the ground those families farmed and lived on every single day. They documented it internally. Then they chose silence for 36 years. But here is what no one is connecting. While one company buried evidence of what they did to the soil, another system was quietly burying the ancient knowledge of how to heal it. That knowledge is 7,000 years old. It has been tested across 3 continents. And it costs nothing. Why do you not know about it? That is what this investigation answers. The global fertilizer industry is worth $227 billion every year. Sold to people told their soil cannot function without it. And yet the Food and Agriculture Organization reports 33% of Earth's land is already degraded. 25 to 40 billion tons of topsoil lost annually. The industry is growing. The soil is dying. 7,000 years ago, Amazon farmers with no laboratories and no supply chains built the most fertile soil ever recorded on this planet. Scientists still study it. They cannot fully replicate it. Those farmers used kitchen waste and charcoal. The most expensive model is failing. The oldest free model is still working, and you have been paying for the one that is failing. This did not happen by accident. You need to understand the business model before you can understand the suppression. The business model is simple. If your soil is a living biological engine that sustains itself without external input, you do not need a bag of synthetic fertilizer. And if you do not need that bag, the industry loses $227 billion per year. That is not a conspiracy. That is arithmetic. Monsanto's documented record is precise. In 1966, internal memos described the Anniston contamination. That information was kept from the public for 36 years. National Public Radio documented that company staff ghost-wrote scientific papers published under independent researchers' names. The Guardian reported a corporate intelligence operation built to monitor and discredit journalists asking inconvenient questions. This knowledge was not banned outright. It was made economically invisible. There is a difference. And that difference is exactly how a forgotten method gets erased from an entire generation without a single law being passed. You cannot patent a natural process. You cannot sell what the earth gives for free. That is the only reason this disappeared. In 1697, a Japanese agronomist named Yasusada Miyazaki documented a method every farmer in his region already practiced without question. He called it ash manure. His encyclopedia, the Nogyo Zensho, described it precisely. Roasted organic waste, kitchen scraps, rice husks, animal excreta, composted and returned to the soil. It was not a discovery. It was recorded knowledge, preserved so it would not be lost. By the 1960s, it had vanished, replaced by synthetic inputs. Too cheap to sell, too simple to profit from. Lost. The oldest proof goes further. In the Amazon basin, patches of impossibly dark, fertile soil exist where none should. Scientists named them Terra, Preta, Amazonian dark earths. Radiocarbon dating places their origin at 7,000 years ago. They contain 70 times more stable charcoal than surrounding land, deliberately engineered. Built on one principle modern agriculture has spent 60 years unlearning. Return to the soil what you take from it. Those communities are gone. Their soil remains. Still fertile. Still functioning. A 7,000-year proof of concept that the industry has spent decades hoping you would never find. Here is how you reclaim this. No products. No store. No bill. Step 1. Stop discarding kitchen waste. Vegetable peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, dry leaves, grass clippings. This is soil food. The same organic material ancient farmers returned to their land for thousands of years. Collect it separately starting today. Step 2. Make char. Burn dry, woody material, branches, corn husks, rice husks in a low-oxygen environment. A metal container with a small air hole works. You are not making ash. You are making biochar, a stable carbon structure that persists in soil for hundreds of years, exactly as Terra Preta farmers built it. Ash disappears, char remains. That is the biological difference. Step 3. Activate your char. Dry biochar does nothing on its own. Soak it in compost liquid or bury it inside your compost pile for a minimum of 24 hours. This loads the carbon structure with microbial life. This step is where most people fail. Skipping it is why most people see no result. Step 4. Return it to your soil. Mix activated char and composted organic waste into your garden bed at a 10 to 20% ratio. You are not adding a product. You are rebuilding a living biological engine, the same system that made Terra Preta fertile enough to outlast the civilization that created it. Step 5. Observe for 90 days. Water retention improves. Root depth increases. The biological engine begins running the way it was designed. For free, without the industry's permission. If this works, why do you not know about it? You cannot patent a biological process. You cannot trademark compost. You cannot build a $200 billion recurring revenue model on something every person on Earth can make from kitchen scraps and dry wood. It was not banned. It was replaced. In the 1960s, synthetic fertilizers became cheap, subsidized, and embedded into agricultural policy worldwide. Traditional knowledge stopped being passed down. It was reframed as primitive, forgotten deliberately. When researchers surface this knowledge today, the same pattern continues. Funding disappears. Studies stall. The same machinery that kept Anniston quiet for 36 years runs the same playbook against inconvenient soil science. The ancient wisdom was never destroyed. It was made economically invisible. And that invisibility ends the moment you stop purchasing what you were always capable of making yourself. Did your grandparents ever use ash, charcoal, or composted waste in their garden before synthetic fertilizers replaced everything? Tell us in the comments. This knowledge survives in families. Let us recover it together. Anniston still carries what was buried in its soil. No settlement erases it. The soil has a long memory. So does the knowledge that heals it. 7,000 years of proof. Documented in 1697 by a man who thought everyone already knew. Erased not by law, but by a business model that required your dependency. You were never supposed to need their products. Your grandparents likely knew this. That food sovereignty is yours to reclaim right now, from your own kitchen waste, from your own backyard, on your own terms. When food prices double next year, you will not panic. You will be harvesting. That is real wealth. That is real independence. Comment below. Did your grandparents ever use a method like this?